Hey, what's going on?
Hi friends!
Hey y'all.
Hey there!
Hello from UNC Greensboro.
Well, we really wish we could personally welcome you to our beautiful campus today.
We're so glad you're here with us virtually.
During this year's open house, there are a ton of opportunities to connect with us.
We have more than 20 info sessions lined up across 3 weeks, all streamed live on our website.
You'll hear from admissions and financial aid staff,
Advisors, professors, and students.
Maybe you'll even see this familiar face.
You can also interact with the panelists in each session by texting us your questions and we'll answer them in real time.
Take some time to explore our website for even more information, like a personalized viewbook, campus tour signups, and of course, a link to apply.
UNCG is a really special place, and we hope you get to see a glimpse of that during this year's open house.
We're crossing our fingers that you'll get to meet with us face to face sometime really soon. Until then,
Mask up,
Wash your hands,
And go Spartans!
And go Spartans.
go Spartans.
go Spartans.
and go Spartans.
Good afternoon, future Spartans, and welcome to our fall virtual open house. We are so excited to have you here with us. My name is Tatiana McEnany. I am one of the assistant directors for undergraduate admissions here at UNCG. I am also a 2015 student athlete alumni, so I'm really excited to be your host for today and also to get to teach you guys a little bit more about UNCG, and hopefully it's what you are looking for in a college. I do want to let you know that if you have any questions at all, you will see a texting number at the bottom of the screen. So if you have any questions throughout the live stream, all you have to do is just send a simple text. We will answer them live throughout the presentation and also afterwards. And of course, helping me with my presentation today is our two amazing Spartan Guide students here, Emily and Megan, and they're going to share a little bit more about their student experiences. Hey, Emily and Megan, how are y'all doing today?
Hi guys, I am Emily and I am a sophomore here at UNCG pursuing a pre-nursing major. I am from Elon, North Carolina, and I am a part of the Lloyd International Honors College as well as the Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society. Now I'm going to kick it to Megan. Hey Megan.
Hey guys, so I am Megan. I am currently a junior and I am a finance major with a music performance minor, and I am from Cary, North Carolina, so right outside of the Raleigh area. And outside of Spartan Guides, I've been a part of the Bryan Student Ambassador Program for the Bryan School of Business and Economics. I've also been a brand ambassador for our Career and Professional Development Center, and then I've also been a Spartan orientation leader for our Summer SOAR program.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for helping me today. And as you all can see, these two students are the experts. So if you have any questions for them as well, or any personal questions for them, please ask them and text them to us and we will be able to get to those questions. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the presentation. All right, let's get to the beginning of this really quick. Bear with us here. All right, here we are. Awesome. So I do want to thank you all for tuning in virtually. I know this can be a little bit weird doing this virtually. Please understand we wish that we can see you guys all in person, but you know, we have found these awesome virtual platforms to be able to do this, and hopefully we can all see you guys in person soon. With that being said, I'll go ahead and talk about what we're gonna talk about today during this presentation. So we'll be able to talk about student life, academics, and the application process and the steps to admission. So if you have any questions about any of these things, please text them to us and we'll be able to answer those. All right, so I like to say that everyone really finds their way here. It's going to be different for everyone. I came as an out-of-state student from California, so I know that each person's going to have their different way, and I want our Spartan Guides to talk a little bit about how they found their way to UNCG. Emily, do you want to share a little bit about how you found your way?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Elon, so I'm not too far away. But when I came to UNCG's campus, I knew that it was the place for me. When I got to UNCG, I came in as a psychology major. However, once I got here and began getting involved and I was surrounded by so many different people with so many different interests and passions, I began to realize that I actually had a passion for nursing and for traveling. And so UNCG has not only helped me find that passion, but also is helping me pursue it. Megan, how did you find your way here?
So I think I found my way here whenever I was actually on tour as well. And I was applying to all these different schools and colleges whenever I was a high school senior. And really, when I stepped foot on UNCG's campus, it was just like I just felt very like at home, like Emily said, and that also I noticed that UNCG is just very unique in that they really care for their students. I went to a lot of different colleges where I just felt like I was going to be another student on their campus, but here at UNCG, they really made me feel welcome. That the staff and the faculty wanted to see me succeed. They wanted to see me do more than just go to class and go to sleep. They wanted to see me be a very successful student, which I really didn't feel anywhere else. So that's how I found my way here.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing how you found your way. And hopefully you all can learn a little bit more about UNCG and we can help you find your way here. Okay, so a little bit of history on UNCG. We were founded in 1891 by Dr. Charles Duncan McGeever, who was an advocate for women's education, which is why our institution first started off as an all-women's college. And in fact, we were actually the first school for women in the region. We did form the UNC school system along with NC State and Chapel Hill, so we were among the first three in 1932. And in 1963, we decided to invite men on campus and we became coeducational. But as you can see, we're about a mid-major institution. We have about 20,000 students here at UNC Greensboro. Now, we offer a little over 125 different degree programs over 6 schools and colleges. Now, they are going to be bolded in the navy blue. Now, you will see majors that have an asterisk next to them. That just means that there is a secondary admissions requirement. So most of our college and visual performing arts, those typically require an audition, an interview, or for you to submit a portfolio, whereas other majors, for example, human development and family studies, kinesiology, public health, social work, speech pathology, those typically require a GPA requirement. Each one would be different depending on the major, but you can find more information on the specific GPA requirement that is required your sophomore year of college on their direct website. Or you can just ask us and we'll try to get that information for you. But we have our Bryan School of Business and Economics, our College of Arts and Sciences, our College of Visual and Performing Arts, School of Health and Human Sciences, our School of Nursing, and our School of Education. And of course, we offer pre-professional programs. So you'll see them at the bottom right-hand corner. So if you are interested in going to law school or going to medical school, going to PT school, anything like that that you see listed on the right-hand side, we can help you get there. So you'll have 2 advisors, not only one for your major that you decide to choose, but also one to help you get to where you want to go. So they help from the process when searching for additional colleges. They help to the process for the application process and the interview process if there is one. And they make sure that you are taking the right prerequisite classes to get into that secondary school. So if you have any questions about that, please send them in a text and we'll be happy to answer them. Alrighty, so as some of you may know, we are the 3rd largest city in North Carolina, right behind Charlotte and Raleigh, which as you can see are not too far away, and we are centrally located right in the middle of North Carolina, kind of halfway between the mountains and the beach, which is really awesome because you kind of get the best of both worlds. And we are pretty diverse. We come from 78 countries and 46 states. But for those of you who are tuning in who may not know a little bit about Greensboro, North Carolina, let's talk a little bit about that. What you see here is our Natty Green's Brewing Company, which is downtown Greensboro. And you might be wondering, why is Tatiana showing you this restaurant? Fun fact that I always tell students is this restaurant is actually owned by one of our UNCG alumni, which is really cool. But there really is lots of things to do in downtown Greensboro and in Greensboro alone. So actually, I'm going to have one of our Spartan guides, Emily. Can you talk to us a little bit about, you're a student here. What is there to do in Greensboro?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love living in Greensboro. It is an amazing city. There's always something happening downtown. I have been to food truck festivals. I've been to the NC Folk Festival, which happens every year downtown Greensboro, and so many more activities have kept me busy throughout my time here at UNCG. And what's really awesome is that UNCG actually is extremely close to downtown. We have a bus system called HEAT, which stands for Higher Education Area Transit, and it can actually take you from campus to downtown. And it is super fun to go out and go downtown, explore with some friends, grab a bite to eat. Greensboro has a bajillion delicious places to eat. My personal favorite thing to do is to grab some friends and to go to Crafted, the Art of the Taco. They have amazing tacos and some crazy combinations, including mac and cheese and barbecue and fish and corn, but they are fabulous. Greensboro is a beautiful city and it has a ton to offer. I love living here.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Emily. And as you can see, she mentioned you don't need to have a car your freshman year or at all throughout your 4 years here at UNCG. You are allowed to have a car as a freshman if you wanted to. If that's something that's important to you, make sure you're asking other institutions, because that may not be the case for other institutions. But we do have so many free public transportation options, and all you need to do is have your Spartan ID to be able to use those free transportation options for your use. All right, so any way you want to measure it, UNCG is the most diverse university out of all the UNC school systems. Emily, do you want to talk to us a little bit about our diversity here at UNCG?
Yeah, so UNCG is extremely diverse. There are so many different cultures, races, and beliefs represented here on campus. Even in the classroom, students are encouraged to express their beliefs and differing opinions, which broadens one's understanding and knowledge even further. Everyone, including the students, faculty, staff, are extremely supportive of one another and celebrate differences. We even have an international festival every year where so many different people come together, representing so many different cultures. It's beautiful to go and to see the celebration of culture and identity. And because of diversity, UNCG has made a place for everyone. Megan, do you want to talk a little bit about that place for everyone?
Yes, so we have tons of different clubs and organizations here on our campus that are housed by our Campus Activities and Programs office. And so we have over 350 plus student organizations. So I like to say there is something for everyone, but if you can't find exactly what you're looking for, it's super easy for you to start a club with you, 3 other friends, and an advisor, and then bam, you have a new club right there. For the first day of classes, we also have an event called Fall Kickoff, and that is where we'll have tons of different organizations that'll have their table out advertising what they do, and it'll be all lined down College Avenue, and it's a really fun experience for students to see what they can get involved in, all the different clubs and the diversity. So speaking of getting involved, we have 17 Division I sports teams, which is really awesome. We love our sports here. And actually all our home games are free for students, families, and friends. So that's really fun if you want to bring your family or even another friend from another institution to come cheer on the Spartans. Our men's basketball game, however, is played at the Greensboro Coliseum. So that is free for students, but families and friends do have to pay a small fee. But nonetheless, the men's basketball game is I think one of our biggest sports here. Tons of events that follow around that, and for our season's opener, we actually have an event called I have now blanked of the name of the event, but it's where it's called Storm the Streets. I'm sorry, I apologize about that. And it's where the UNCG students will get together and we'll actually walk all down to the Coliseum, just announcing that it's our season opener and we're ready for the Spartans to kick some butt this season. And so our men's basketball game are huge. They do huge giveaways as well. They've done a semester of tuition. They've given out a 1,000 spring dollar trip. They've given out a year Bojangles. So although I'm not the biggest basketball fan, you will always see me at these games.
All right, thank you for sharing that, Megan. As you can see, our students are heavily involved in so many different activities, and there really is a place for everyone. And if you don't find something that you enjoy, you can always create your own club or organization. So that's the fun part and the best part about getting involved at UNCG, and you get to meet new people that way. Okay, next we're going to transition into academics, which is probably the real reason why you all tuned in. Your professors are definitely going to hold you accountable for deadlines, for assignments, but they're also going to be there to be your mentors. They're going to guide you, and they're going to be there if you need recommendation letters for grad school, for an internship, for a job. They really want to get to know you. They want to get to know your name, and they truly want to see you succeed throughout your 4 years here and afterwards. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, how does learning work here at UNCG? Megan, since you're a current student, I'm going to let you go ahead and take this away. How does learning work at UNC Greensboro?
Yeah, so you might have seen on an earlier slide that we do have a 20-to-1 student to faculty ratio and then an average class size of 25. So what that kind of means is that for every 20 students, we have that professor, we have a tutor, we have an advisor, we have a professional to help students and have that small intimate class setting, even though we are a 20,000 plus student population. We also have tons of different programs outside of our classrooms to help students academically. So the first one that I like to mention is the SIP, our Supplemental Instructional Program. So that is where a student that has taken that class beforehand, excelled in that class, and then they're going to sit in with you and take that class over again, basically. They're going to listen to the same lectures, take the same tests and exams, and then after the class, they'll hold smaller tutoring sessions, maybe to go over any questions, maybe go over the lecture that just happened that day, or to even review for an exam. So that's a good opportunity for students, especially if you're in a larger class, maybe that Bio 101, Chem 101, where it's a larger lecture, and you get to go into smaller intimate study sessions and go over the material again. Another one that we have are our centers. So our writing center, our speaking center, and our math help center. Pretty self-explanatory, but those centers are there to help students with those topics, especially since here at UNCG, students will be taking either like a math intensive, a speaking intensive, or a writing intensive course. And some students, especially if they come from high school, they don't necessarily have all those skills to be successful. So those centers are really to help students in any maybe some gaps or just some extra help that they may need. The last one, which I think is the most important, is our professors' office hours. So our professors are required to hold 3 hours of office hours every week, and that's where they're just sitting in their office waiting for students to ask them questions. It's a good opportunity because students get to go into their professor's office, meet with them one-on-one, face-to-face, and really ask those questions. Professors love to see their students outside of the classroom and really get to know us personally and not just on a student level. One of my professors, she had a freezer in her office, and every time a student would come by and visit her, she would give them a popsicle or a lollipop or anything like that, just to say like, thank you so much for visiting me. My office hours are so lonely, so I'm so glad a student has really come by to say hi. And professors just really love to see their students outside of class and get to know them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Megan. And you all can see how we really do provide all those resources for you all. You just have to take advantage of them. And, you know, we want to make sure you guys have all those resources to be successful, not only through your 4 years, but after you graduate. And a huge component of the learning experience here at UNCG is that you will really get hands-on with your studies, and you will get to work alongside experts and faculty, and they're really the experts in their field. All right, so I want to talk about a couple ways to enhance your academic experience here. We have the Lloyd International Honors College, residential colleges, and study abroad programs. And luckily, we have Emily here with us today because she is a part of the Lloyd International Honors College. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her experience so far.
Yeah, so I joined the International Honors College my freshman year. I applied via a invitation application, and I accepted, and I got accepted, and I was so excited because the Honors College on campus has so much to offer. What I really like about it is that the Honors College is like a big community of people that you're surrounded with such positive and passionate people. Plus, you get a lot of opportunities to take specific classes with some amazing professors. With the Honors College, you also get a more play-based education, which I'll talk a little bit more later. But you get opportunity to explore your interests along with other highly motivated students and professors willing and wanting to help you. You get honors courses that are cut off at 25 people, so you will never have a class over 25 people. I'm not sure that I've actually had a class with 25 people. My classes have already been about 10 to 15, which is amazing because you really get to know the people in your class and also the professor. And I know sometimes it can be intimidating to get to know your professor in such a big setting, but that's why the Honors College is really great. It's because you do get to get that intimate setting with your class and your professor, and you get to have a lot of discussions, ask for help really easily. You also get the opportunity to register for classes early, which on campus, registration opens up at midnight. And once the classes are filled, you do have the opportunity to reach out to professors. However, sometimes when a class is filled, you're not able to get to it. And so that's what's really great, is that you get that early admissions, early registration window with the Honors College. So I get to apply for my classes early. You also have accessible advisors inside of the Honors College. They don't live, but they have their office inside of the Honors dorms. And you can just visit them whenever they're ready. Sometimes I lived in the Honors housing, and sometimes I'd see them walking to class in the morning. You get to know them, and you get the opportunity to go and ask them questions whenever you want or whenever they're available. You also get access to Honors housing, which we have the North Spencer and the South Spencer dorms. And what's really great is they're located right in the center of campus on College Ave. And they're also conveniently located above the CAF. So whenever you get hungry, if it's late night, you walk down out of the Honors College and just right down to the cafeteria, which is pretty amazing. You also get really great study abroad support and scholarship opportunities. And you get to go and attend many workshops. You get to see great speakers, participate in special activities such as think tanks or artist in resident programs. One of my favorites is Monday Play, which is hosted by Dr. Ali, the Dean of the International Honors College. And he goes and we play games that help you think outside of the box. It's more hands-on. You get to know the dean and other professors in a more casual setting, but it also forces you to gain new perspectives and open your mind in a more holistic way of thinking.
Awesome. So you guys all can see how passionate Emily is about the Honors College, just the way that she talks about it. So if you have any questions for her about the Honors College, please text us and we can have Emily answer some of those questions. So it's really a way to just kind of challenge yourself every day. So if that's something that you're interested in and studying abroad, the Honors College is definitely something that you want to look a little bit more into. We also have our residential colleges. We have 3 residential colleges. We have the Ashby College, the Grogan College, and the Strong College. And these are also about 2-year programs that they are about like living learning communities. So when I think of the residential colleges, I think of students who want to have a small college experience within a larger university setting. They do also have smaller class sizes. They have classrooms in their own residential hall. So sometimes they'll have class right in their own residential hall. So they'll have their professors come to them. So if that's something that interests you, you might want to look a little bit more into that. And of course, we do have study abroad programs. You do not have to be in the Honors College to be able to study abroad. We have over 500 students studying abroad throughout the entire year, and we have over 100 partnerships with institutions all over the world. And the great thing about it is a student exchange program. So what that means is we are sending you to an institution that we have a partnership with, and that institution is sending us a student to UNCG. So you're still paying your same tuition here at UNCG, and they're still paying their same tuition wherever they were originally at. You really are just swapping places, and our International Program Center does an amazing job working with our students to kind of plan all this out. And they always say, if you can afford to come to UNCG, you can afford to study abroad. So I want to encourage you all to, if you are interested in studying abroad, make sure you are working with our International Program Center to be able to figure out, how long do you want to study? You can study for a whole year. You can do it for a semester. If that sounds a little too long, you can even do it a shorter period of time over the summer, which is typically led by faculty. They also work with you depending on where you want to go. Do you want to go to Australia, Denmark? Do you want to go to Spain or Italy? Anything like that. The list really does go on and on. So we have so many different options for you all, and we really can cater that experience to your needs. All right, hopefully this will be you all right after you graduate in 4 years, taking a selfie at graduation. I really do want to stress all those resources that we do have at UNCG, not only help you when you're here at UNCG, but afterwards. This next slide I'm about to show you shows all the companies that our most recent undergraduates have gone to and had successful careers. And that is really working closely with our career and professional development office, and I'm actually going to have Megan speak a little bit about this office and kind of what they have to offer and what this office is about.
Yeah, so the Career and Professional Development is a really great office for students to utilize. They'll do the atypical like resume help and like mock interviews and headshots, but one of the things that they do that is typically the biggest thing is our career fairs. So they hold 5 different career fairs every year, and that is where a ton of different companies, even large ones like the ones you see on your screen, will come to UNCG and just seeking UNCG employment. It's a really good opportunity because students are able to make that face-to-face, one-on-one connection. And so, yeah, that's also a really good opportunity to maybe put your foot in the door, talk to some companies you're interested in, and get some more info on their program as well. Another thing that our Career and Professional Development does is that they have a little evaluation that you can take if you're not sure what major you want to go into, or maybe you're not sure what your career path is going to be. They have this little evaluation that you'll fill out based on your likes and your dislikes, your strengths and weaknesses, and then taking all that data, they're going to narrow it down to a handful of different career lines that you might be interested in, might be good at. So that's another thing that you can do at our Career and Professional Development. Lastly, they also have an online platform called Handshake. And so Handshake is very similar to LinkedIn, but solely for our campus. And that is where you are able to make a profile, a business professional profile, and then look up different companies, apply for different jobs, whether they're on campus or even off campus. You can also register for different career fairs and connect with our professional development office. So this office is really great in general, and I definitely would reach out to them.
So like Megan was saying, they really do help you right from when you arrive on campus. So if you need help deciding what major you want to choose, or if you need help deciding, hey, what am I going to do with this major? And they really just never stop helping you, because they even, if you are an alumni, so if you graduate from UNCG, you are still able to go back to the Career and Professional Development for any resources and help. So this is a great office, and I encourage you all to, if you do end up coming to UNCG, please take advantage of it. Now, if you take anything from this presentation, I hope you take these 3 things away, because here at UNCG, we want our students to be inspired by their professors. We want them to be a part of a community where they belong, and we want them to be prepared to live a life with passion and a paycheck. All right, now the cost of a college education, very important, but it's also important to see how we stack up against other universities. So as you can see on the right-hand side, UNCG's cost of attendance is lower than the average public institution nationally and within the state. So what you can expect in regards to tuition and fees is that $7,404 a year for in-state students, and for out-of-state students, you're looking at about $22,564 a year. Now that room and meal plan, those are going to be average numbers. There are different housing options and different meal plan options. So depending on what you choose, those can range a little bit. My best advice is filling out that FAFSA. It is open. You can see that 65% of our full-time undergrads did receive financial aid, and the sooner you fill it out, the best your financial aid package can be. All right, so what does it take to get to UNCG? What you're looking at here is our admitted freshman student profile. These are their average numbers. So I do want to repeat that they are not our minimum requirements. These are just our average numbers. So that's a 3.74 weighted GPA, a 23 ACT, 1124 SAT, and we admitted about 68% of those students who applied. Now, I do want to tell students that we understand that you all are more than numbers. Of course, we do need to see your high school transcripts, but we want to get to know you not only as a student, but as a person. So what else are you involved in? Are you involved in any extracurricular activities? Do you do any community service or volunteer work? Do you play an instrument? Do you play a sport? Do you have a part-time job? Do you help with your siblings at home while your parents or guardians are gone? That's the stuff that we want to know about our students. So make sure when you are filling out that application, you kind of take the time to do so. Give us a description of any activities and tell us a little bit more about yourselves. That way we can get to know you a little bit better, because as admission counselors, when we're reviewing applications, we only kind of see what's in front of us. So give us as much detail as possible. All right, so our application process is fairly simple. It is an online application. You can apply CFNC, the Common App, or on our direct website on spartanlink.uncg.edu. We do have a $65 application fee, and although we don't participate in the free application week, we do, however, accept fee waivers. So we accept the SAT fee waiver, the ACT fee waiver, the NACAC fee waiver, and the CFNC fee waiver. So if you're not sure if you qualify for one, I recommend asking your school counselor to see if you qualify for one, and we can definitely accept those and waive that application fee for you. We do need to see your official high school transcripts, so make sure you get your school counselor and submit your high school transcripts. And as most of you know, due to COVID for the year of 2021, we are going to be test optional. And that basically means that submitting test scores is not required. So you are more than welcome to submit the ACT or SAT. If you do submit those, that will only help you. Those scores will not go against you. That we do have an optional essay that you can choose to submit to us. But speaking of optional essay, if you submit your essay before our priority deadlines, you will be considered for scholarship. So if you want to hear an admissions decision back right away as soon as possible, you want to apply before December 1st. And then priority decision 2 is January 15th. We are our March 1st deadline, but we are rolling admissions, and our final deadline is going to be July 15th. All right, and with that being said, this is actually the end of our presentation, and we are going to move to some live questions, but hopefully you all were able to kind of find out a little bit more about UNCG, what we have to offer, and hopefully we can help you find your way here. But let's take a look at some of the questions that we have. All right, so this is coming from a student. So I know that we touched a little bit about living on campus earlier, but a student wants a little bit more clarification. So Emily, this question's for you. Are freshman students required to live on campus?
So freshman students are not required to live on campus. However, they are highly encouraged. We have a mixture of both on-campus housing and off-campus housing. So students coming from off-campus or students living on campus and going to class. I would say that living on campus definitely gives you a bit more of a full experience. Being surrounded by students all the time. And I think that Megan may be able to answer this question in a little bit more depth. What do you think, Megan?
Yes, so I definitely encourage students to live on campus. I think one of the things that is a real advantage for students that live on campus is that everything on our campus is very accessible. So instead of like having to walk 20 minutes from your off-campus housing, you're right on campus right there. You're right on campus right there, so you don't need to take a very long commute, and you also don't need to buy a parking pass either because you're already going to be on campus. For our housing on our campus, we have 7 different freshman residence halls, excluding our residential college and our honors college. So I like to say that each residential hall is a little bit different. For example, let's just say you value location over everything. So if you like location, you want something very close, I would definitely maybe suggest Ragsdale Mendenhall or Will Winfield, because that's very, very close to our dining hall and our student center. But let's just say you really like new amenities. So I would suggest the high rises for that one because that was very recently renovated. So I would just kind of say just depends on what you like the most and stuff like that. And also for our on-campus housing, I do like to mention that for students that if you do decide to live on campus as a freshman, we do require you to live in a freshman-style hall. But once you become an upperclassman, which is sophomore and up, you're able to live in those different suite styles, apartment styles, and different housing options there. There's more of an opportunity for that. I hope that kind of clarified housing questions.
Yeah, I definitely think you all did a good tag team with that question. So yeah, students don't have to live on campus as a freshman, but 80% of our students do. And I think Emily and Megan did a fantastic job of the reasons why our students do end up living on campus. But there is a follow-up question, Megan, since you were just speaking kind of about the halls. Are there any halls that are co-ed?
So actually, all of our halls are co-ed, which is a little daunting, but it's typically split by wing or split by floors. So I think particularly in the high rises, it's like the first floor will be for women, the second floor will be men, women, men, and then some other buildings that aren't as tall, so they'll be split by wing. So on one wing, it'll be women's with a women's bathroom, and then on the other wing, it'll be men's with a men's bathroom.
Perfect. And then one more question, a housing question. I'm applying as a theater student. Are there any ways to live with another theater student?
So we have different ways of how you can go about that. So I would suggest if you're going to be a theater student to definitely live in our high rises, particularly Cone, because they actually have rehearsal spaces in the building, so you don't have to actually go to the music building to practice, which is really nice. And then for roommates, let's just say if you already know another theater student here, you just mutually select each other, and that's how you can become roommates. But if you're not sure of another theater student, you could go random and just specify in your housing that you would like to live with another theater student, because when you go random or choose a random roommate, you'll kind of fill out a survey saying how you live. So if you like to go to sleep early, go to sleep late, play music a lot, stuff like that, you just kind of describe your housing style, and then also specify that you want to live with another theater student. The housing can definitely kind of pick through and see who's very similar to your living habits and also is a theater student, so you guys can live together.
Yeah, I think the housing department definitely does a fantastic job with kind of matching you with someone who's compatible to your lifestyle. So whether you're a morning person or whether you're not a morning person, they really do try their best to kind of match you. Also, Studio 91 is that housing that I definitely recommend for any of our college and visual and performing arts students. So if you want to look a little bit more into it, just go onto our website and just type in Studio 91 to find out a little bit more information about that specific housing. Okay, we've got another question. Let's see. Emily and Megan, we have a student asking about research opportunities. Could one of you talk about any research opportunities you've done or how you found them?
So as a pre-nursing major, I have to take a lot of lab courses. There are courses that also have a lab attached to them. And so one thing that's super unique about the UNCG undergraduate program is that we do offer undergraduate research. I personally have not partake in any research. I have been kind of like a guinea pig for some research projects. However, I do know that a lot of the time you can get with your professors, either your lab instructor or a science-specific instructor. In my experience, this has been the case, and they will have so many opportunities for you. Sometimes they even reach out to you. They'll say, hey, there's this awesome opportunity. I'm looking for participants to help me out with this research project, or my friend, my colleague needs participants or assistance, and you can find research through that. But I would definitely say just keep in contact with professors, lab instructors, even colleagues, friends, and you will be able to find some research.
Perfect. Thanks, Emily. All right, and then one viewer, I think this question will be for me, is wondering if it matters what platform they use to apply. It really doesn't matter. You are able to apply through Common App, CFNC, or on our direct website. There really isn't any advantage to applying on one or the other, so whichever one you feel comfortable with. Just know that unfortunately we don't participate in that free application week. A lot of students think that they apply to UNCG during that time, but unfortunately we don't. However, we do accept those fee waivers. But great question. All right. We've got, and both you all can kind of give your opinion on this next question. We have a viewer asking a question that honestly we're probably all wondering here. How is the food on campus? And let's see, Emily, I'll let you go first.
So the food on campus, you may have preconceived notions, but I think it's actually pretty great. We have tons of options, not only the dining hall, but we have some restaurants. And so in the dining hall, it is conveniently located in the center of campus, over my dorm, North Spencer, actually, or under it. And they have so many food stations. They have pasta, they have pizza, they have a make your own sandwich, panini press. On Wednesdays, there is something that's called Fried Chicken Wednesdays, and the chef makes the best fried chicken, and they serve all kind of Southern sides, and sometimes you'll even catch Chancellor Gillum there. He loves going to Fried Chicken Wednesdays. But not only do you have those options, you also have vegan or dietary specific options in that dining hall. And then apart from the dining hall, we have a few options like Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, and we have in the Elliott University Center another kind of dining hall that has just a bunch of restaurants that you can use your flex, which is money on your Spartan card that is not, you can't use it everywhere. However, you can use it. It's like UNCG cash. So you're able to go to restaurants and use your flex money to buy food or your meal at non-dining hall specific restaurants. And so in that, the Elliott University Center dining hall, we have a Salsaritas, which is like a Moe's or a Chipotle. We have a burger station. We have Noma, which is amazing Chinese food, and they have great fresh wraps. But I will definitely say that you will never be hungry eating anywhere at UNCG.
Megan, what about you? Where's your favorite place to eat on campus?
I think honestly the dining hall is one of my favorites, but also Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A will always have my heart. But I think one of my favorite things about the dining hall though is that, well, one, we were actually named #1 in the state for meals for public schools in North Carolina, so that was awesome. And then also the dining hall, everything is customizable for how you like to eat it, and I think that's one of my favorite things. So especially like for just about everything, so pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, any home style options, tacos, literally anything you can think of, and they make it customizable for you. And I think that's really, really nice, especially for students that might have dietary restrictions or maybe are just picky. I'm a really picky eater, so yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about our dining hall.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. And I'd have to agree, the dining hall is amazing. My favorite was always breakfast and the ready-to-make omelets. Those were the best. So thank you all for sharing. Okay, so Megan, since you were just talking, could you share with us what is campus like on the weekends?
Yes, so we actually have lots of things going on during the weekends. With COVID, it's kind of been a little more virtual, but we have tons of stuff. I think one of my favorite things to do is that we have like a little, almost like a campground or park that is not conjoined, but it's like UNCG owned, and there's a lake there and tons of different outdoor equipment. So you can actually, there's little trips every weekend that you can do there. And if it's a big enough event, there'll be a shuttle that will take students from campus to that campground. And you can canoe, you can hike, you can, I think you can like take a hike in the woods, you can do different outdoor activities, you can camp. We have a lake there, so that's really fun. So, and then we also have a little newsletter every week that we send out to students, and it's just a rundown of things that'll go on during the weekend. So students will always have something to do to get involved and to be busy on the weekends.
Perfect. And I'm glad that you started to talk about outdoor and adventures and things like that, because one of our students is very interested in rock climbing and is wondering if we have any opportunities for their interests.
So at our Kaplan Center of Wellness, we do have a 3-story tall rock wall and also a bouldering wall. So you can go to our Kaplan Center. It's free for our students, and you can go enjoy that facility there. Um, I I'm not sure if there's like any rock climbing at our outdoor adventures campground, but there is at our Kaplan Center. And then we also do have like different I think like rock climbing clubs through our campus activities and programs. So you can actually join that club and go to maybe different like facilities that have rock climbing, or you can rock climb together. So tons of different activities for that specific topic.
Perfect. And Emily, I don't know if you've been to the rec center or not, but can you talk a little bit about what's inside the rec center? What is, all the different, I guess, equipment, or what you can do there? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's large, the Kaplan Center. You walk in and I kind of just like look around because it's just so big. It is 3 stories tall, and inside the Kaplan Center, you will find anything from your basic exercise equipment to specific rooms where you actually can go and attend classes like yoga, kickboxing, Zumba. I know that there are like virtual dance party Zumbas, which are really cool. The yoga class is fabulous. I can attest to that. They also have sunrise yoga, and there's a balcony outside on the outside of the exercise classrooms where you can go and you can take the equipment outside with that class specifically, and you can do yoga while the sun rises or the sun sets. There's also an Olympic grade pool inside the Kaplan Center, and we have a basketball area where you can play basketball, volleyball, weightlifting, running, pretty much anything that you want to do exercise-wise or just activity-wise, you can do. Also, the outdoor adventure space is inside the Kaplan Center. And I know, like Megan said, that they do sometimes weekend trips. And so there's always something happening there. You can tag along to one of those. You can do rock climbing. It's pretty much a place of many
traits.
Yes,
yeah, many things to do.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, there's definitely lots of things to do for everyone if you like to be active there. So feel free to check us out. And now, is that free to students, Emily?
Yes, it is free to all students. All you have to do is swipe your card and you are in.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And there's a question from me from a student, and it's a first-year applicant, and they're wondering when they should apply. They know we have 4 different application deadlines, but which one should they apply to in order to be the most competitive for admission? And I'm going to be honest, it's going to be our December 1st deadline. Apply before our December 1st deadline. That's our priority deadline. It gets you the most opportunity to be considered for scholarship, and it also gets you the student's decision. So we usually take about 4 to 6 weeks for us to review an application. However, we try to work as fast and hard as we can. But if you apply before December 1st, we are going to try to get those decisions out before any other decision. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's see here. Emily, is campus walkable, and how difficult is it to get around campus or even Greensboro? I know you touched base a little bit already, so I wanted to kind of give this question to you.
Yeah, so campus is only about a mile long. Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is all the classes are pretty centered to College Ave. And so you live on campus in the dorms and you can walk. It's only about a 10-15 minute walk to class. Most of them are not 15 minutes. I would say I could walk to most of my classes within 5 to 10 minutes. And everything is pretty central. I would say that once you're on campus, you're pretty set for the day. If you do want to go off campus, like I said, you can either do the heat bus, which is the bus that takes you from campus to downtown if you do not have a car. However, if you do have a car, we have parking options where you can park your car and take that elsewhere. If you are choosing to live off campus, Most of our off-campus housing is pretty close to campus. I would say between a 10 to probably like 10-minute walk. And I would say most of it's walkable. I do know people bring bikes, skateboards to get to their class if that's what you prefer. However, everything is very close and very convenient.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Megan, can you talk to us a little bit about your favorite UNCG traditions? Maybe like the Minerva, the Rock, the Clock, a little bit about those.
I think my favorite tradition is Minerva. So we do have this lovely statue of Minerva right out on the backside of our LA University Center. And so Minerva is like our goddess, is the goddess of wisdom and knowledge. And so that's why we adopted her back in 1891 as a women's institution. And so we have a little superstition about her that if you take a bite out of an apple and leave it at her statue, she will grant you good luck on any test or exams that you need help on. But it only works if you study, so study. But they also say the higher you put it up on Minerva's statue, the more luck it'll bring you. So it's really fun to see students, like there'll be an apple all the way up on her hands. If you go see her on our campus, you can tell that it's very, very high up. And then also sometimes you'll see it on her helmet. So it's really fun to see students kind of like an experimental to see where they can put their apple. But also if you go to our Minerva statue right now, since it's October, there's some pumpkins out there. Also around finals time, you'll literally see just about anything and everything at Minerva because students will fight for that good grade. So you'll see like loose change. I've seen like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets over there. So yeah, during that time, the squirrels are also very, very fond of that with all the different apples and food there.
Perfect. And Emily, can you talk about one of the other traditions, either the Rock or the Clock?
Absolutely. So the rock is actually next to the clock, and it is this giant rock in the center of our campus that students are able to use to make announcements. They can paint it and they can say anything from "come to this event" to "happy birthday, Sally, my roommate. We love you." And so it's a great way to advertise, and it's also a great way to find out about the happenings around campus. You'll see a smaller rock next to the large rock, which says the date and time that it was painted. The only thing with the rock is that you do have to wait 28 hours before, or 24 hours after the initial paint to then repaint the rock, just to make sure that everybody knows what's happening and everybody's announcements are shared.
Perfect. So as you see, these are just two of the many traditions that we have here. And hopefully when you come to UNCG, you can learn a couple more traditions that we do have. But another question is coming from a parent, and I will go ahead and take this question. The question is, are classes still in session on campus, or has UNCG gone fully virtual due to COVID? And the answer is many of our students are taking classes in a hybrid model, but some classes still being on campus if they have to. A lot of our labs and classes like that do have to be on campus, but our students are very responsible. I mean, they really are practicing the 6 feet social distancing. They're wearing their masks. They've taken this very seriously, and you can't walk around campus without seeing students with their masks on. And HRL, which is our housing, they are taking things very seriously too with keeping things clean, and they're doing frequent cleaning sessions, and certain areas where they do see a lot of foot traffic, they're doing extra cleaning sessions. We have hand sanitizer stations. The list really does go on and on. And we have very little cases on campus. We have less than 180 since July 1st. So that is amazing coming from an institution from our size. So hopefully that answers your question there. Let me know if I need to clarify anything for you. All right, so Emily or Megan, this is for both of you actually, and Megan, we'll let you go first. UNCG obviously is a beautiful campus. I love it, and I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite spot on campus?
I think my favorite spot on campus would have to be College Avenue. It's super beautiful. There's often like a lot of benches right on the road and stuff like that. But so College Avenue is like our main street that'll go through campus, and it's really pretty because it's lined by trees and flowers and bushes, and especially during this time with all the leaves changing, it's just picture perfect, honestly. It's so beautiful. So I think that's my favorite. What's your favorite, Emily?
My favorite is just kind of farther down College Ave, by the music building. Though I'm not a music major, there is this gorgeous area right outside of the music building, and it has a pond and a waterfall, and it has kind of like a forest behind it, and it's just gorgeous. I like to go and sit there and study, and it was actually the place that I think I first fell in love with UNCG. I went and I just kind of sat with my mom, just talked about, why I liked UNCG, if I was like really excited about going, and stuff like that. And I think that was the spot where I was like, this is my home, just because it was so beautiful and so peaceful. So that's my favorite. I really love it there.
Awesome. So to all our viewers out there, if you all get an opportunity to come on campus, make sure you check out those spots. There is one more question from the viewers, and they are asking if they can have a job on campus, and how do you find those jobs? So I know you all are the perfect people to ask. Megan, do you want to talk about this question?
Sure. So I do want to mention that we do have a work-study program, but I do want to say that you don't need to be a work-study student to have a job. I am not a work-study student, and I've had 4 different jobs here on campus, including Spartan Guides, and so you can definitely get a job here on campus. How typically you would go about getting a job on campus is that you go through Handshake, which I mentioned earlier in our presentation, and Handshake is like an online platform. It's very similar to LinkedIn, that's linked to our career and professional development, and so you can actually go on there and search up all the different job offerings that are on our campus, and then you can actually also look for different job offerings outside of our campus as well. But I know the question was mainly mentioned for on campus, so you can go on there and actually apply on Handshake as well. It'll have the pay average, it'll have the description, like what department is offering it, and you can apply through that. So I definitely check that out if you would like to work on campus.
Perfect. And I have one final question for each of you. And Emily, I'm going to ask you to go first. What is your favorite thing about UNCG that you want our prospective students to know?
So my favorite thing is definitely the diversity on campus. I mentioned before that everyone is extremely inclusive, and even like in the classroom settings, you have teachers and professors who actually want to hear your opinion and who want to say, who want to hear what you have to say, or even if it is a differing opinion, they want to hear it. And so that's what I really love. I like how everybody is super supportive and super dedicated to making sure that you succeed, including professors, advisors, and your friends, just your peers. The community that is formed when you come to campus is amazing.
Perfect.
What about you, Megan?
Yeah, let us know, Megan. What's your favorite thing?
I think my favorite thing is our culture of care that we foster here on this campus. I mentioned it whenever I was saying how I found my way here, but this campus, you can really tell the difference that the staff really want to see you succeed. The faculty and staff want to see you. They want to go out of their way to make sure that their students and prospective students are feeling welcome and feeling at home, that UNCG is not just a home for certain people or for certain places, but it's for everyone. And that they want to hear your opinion, they want to see you, they want to get to know you more than just a student. And I think that is my favorite thing about UNCG.
Perfect. Thank you all so much for sharing that, and I really appreciate it. I know our viewers appreciate it as well. And holy moly, 1 hour went by very fast, and I want to thank you guys and all of our viewers for joining us today as we enter the 3rd week of our virtual fall open house. If you did like what you learned today, I highly encourage you to sign up and create a custom view book. This will allow you to tailor all of our UNCG information to you and your unique interests. You can also You can do so by scrolling down at the bottom of the open house page. So make sure to do that. We're also offering in-person tours, which will allow you to see our campus in person, of course, and you can sign up for that on our website. That is given by our Spartan guides. Tune back in tomorrow at 3 p.m. to learn more about our Bryan School of Business, and thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye.